Hey there, Anne Marie here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about what makes seniors happy. Did you know that seniors are generally more happy than people in their 40s or 50s? By the time you're 40, you're kind of saying, ugh, and you're getting unhappy, you're tired of working, you've got kids crawling all over you, everything in the world's going on, and it's exhausting and overwhelming. But then you hit 50. And when you hit 50, that's generally when people here in America, their happiness hits rock bottom, right? Because you're winding down your career and all of a sudden your kids are gone. It's an empty nest. All the crazy you were just doing evaporates when the kids are gone. And that usually is rock bottom for people in terms of their overall lifetime happiness. And so what that also means, though, is that if you hit rock bottom at 50, then the rest of the time tends to tick up. And that's a wonderful thing. So I want to give you a few keys to making your senior happy in general, no matter what's going on with them. And the biggest part of that is relationships, whether that's relationships with you, a caregiver, a grandkid, a dog. Relationships are the key to happiness in seniors. And so that's why senior living is really important, is because if you have someone who is depressed now, maybe they weren't depressed their whole life and now they are, they're probably feeling socially isolated. And even if they weren't a social butterfly before, pain and illness and doctor's appointments and all these things that make you kind of turtle up in your own little bubble, those are also the things that make you unhappy. And so, whatever that relationship is, even if it is getting up every morning and saying, hi, Kanika, to your favorite caregiver, that is a relationship that they didn't have at home. Social connections are a huge way to stir happiness. Did you know that most people, whenever their loved ones visit me and they're moving their loved one to senior living, or at least considering it, they say things like, they don't do anything anymore but watch TV. Whenever I say, what are their hobbies? What did they like to do? They say, I don't know. They just sit around and watch TV now. And really, they're not even watching the TV. It's just on. And that's because they're so socially isolated that even if they were a person who barely poked their head out once in a while, now that they're truly isolated, that leads to depression in a big sort of way. And so if you want them to be happier, get them around more people their age. Get them around people who they can talk to. It doesn't have to be a big production. They don't have to go to every bingo game in assisted living. They don't have to join every single thing, but there may be something there that they like. And in general, that's what happens in senior living is these people are super isolated in their house. They don't have kids to run around and take care of anymore. They don't have you to take care of anymore. It's just them. They're just sitting there and they're suffering. Maybe they lost a spouse and that's 100 times worse. All of a sudden they're in a place where they might touch their toe out of the water. You just never know what is going to pique their interest later in life. And the fact that they have those social opportunities is what makes that happen. And even if they're a person who moves to assisted living and never, ever leaves their apartment, that's rare, but it does happen. Even so, they have caregivers coming in multiple times a day, and they make friendships and relationships with these people. If you have someone who has caregivers that are just uncaring and don't care and don't even speak to these people, you're in the wrong spot. Because there are so many people out there in the world like me who love seniors and they just love taking care of them. And that's generally who you get as caregivers, because it's not like they're making a lot of money. They have to genuinely care about your loved one and what they're doing and that they're making a difference in their lives. So the social connection is huge. And relationships of any sort are what bring that happiness and joy. So also, in terms of the holidays, you want to think about, I know it's a little bit of extra effort to pick up grandma. She's over here. She's in a wheelchair. What are we going to do? Blah, blah, blah. Plan it out. Think about it. Call me if you have questions and I'll help you work it out. But that isolation is a real killer for them. And it can also bring on other forms of dementia. So who wants that? So think about bringing joy to their life. Sit them down with a baby on their knee or your dog or whatever it is and just watch their face light up. And they might not remember it later. Hopefully they do. They might remember it and talk about it for the next 3 weeks. You just never know. So always insert those little moments of joy you can find to help them with that isolation. Because when we're younger and we're super busy, we can't even fathom a life that they're living right now. And neither could they at our age. It's just the way it works out. So let's spark some joy out there for some seniors in our lives. And I will talk to you again soon.